Chapter 41. August 3rd. Brussels. Early Monday morning, King Albert of the Belgians rejected Germany's ultimatum. Assuming command of his country's relatively modest armed forces, he ordered the destruction of the bridges and tunnels the German troops will expect to use in their invasion. Luxembourg City. Proclamations circulated throughout the city by German invasion forces announced, since France, without regard to the neutrality of Luxembourg, has opened hostilities against Germany from Luxembourg territory, German forces had done so too. The head of the Luxembourg government called the German government in protest that this statement is founded on error. There is absolutely not a single French soldier in Luxembourg territory. London. The cabinet, in its morning session, was told of the German ultimatum to Belgium. The Germans, with almost Austrian crassness, had moved against Belgium, Asquith noted privately. The swing in ministerial opinion was dramatic. Belgium had become the issue. The week before, the cabinet had been overwhelmingly opposed to intervention. At the time they had wanted to stay out, now they felt compelled to go in. Lloyd George, formerly for peace, took the lead in arguing for war. Opinion in the cabinet was almost unanimous. Nonetheless, Asquith and Grey continued to make decisions without asking for or receiving a vote. That afternoon, Grey addressed the House of Commons. London was packed with vacationers. It was a Monday day off, known to the British as a bank holiday. Parliament itself was packed with members and visitors. The House of Commons, according to Barbara Tuchman, had gathered in total attendance for the first time since Gladstone brought in the Home Rule Bill in 1893. Grey made a most remarkable speech, about an hour long, for the most part almost conversational in tone, wrote Asquith. Grey had not had time to write it out in advance. He narrated the history of the crisis, but when he came to the issue of Belgium it was clear that he had the House of Commons overwhelmingly behind him in favour of intervention. Only a week before, Britain had been on the verge of civil war on the issue of Ireland. Now, after Grey had finished speaking, John Redmond, the principal leader of the Irish nationalists, rose to assure the government that it might tomorrow withdraw every one of their troops from Ireland because the armed nationalist Catholics in the south would be only too glad to join in arms with the armed Protestant Ulstermen in the north to defend the shores of the United Kingdom. What happens next? Violet Asquith asked her father, while independently, Winston Churchill asked Grey the same question. The Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary both gave the same answer: deliver an ultimatum. Indeed, at a cabinet meeting convened after the House of Commons session, that is what was decided. Chapter 42. August 4th. London. At 9:30 a.m. Grey sent a telegram to Germany protesting Germany's ultimatum to Belgium and demanding that it be withdrawn. As news arrived confirming Germany's intention of invading Belgium, Grey, at 2 p.m., sent Berlin an ultimatum demanding German compliance with Belgium's neutrality to be confirmed by midnight. The cable was sent to the British ambassador, who was able to deliver it only at 7 p.m. At some point Grey realized that the ultimatum did not specify whether it was to expire at midnight British time or continental time, and it was decided that it should be continental time, giving Germany 5 hours in which to reply. Germany never replied. Germany's invasion of Belgium, bringing Great Britain into the war, converted what had been a continental war into a world war. The British Empire extended all the way around the earth, and so, now, would the warfare. Moltke's memo on August 2 to the German Foreign Office made it clear that the German government understood that. In view of the paramount importance of the British decision, it is all the more remarkable how, in that pre-democratic age, the decision was reached. Parliament did not vote. The cabinet played little role. As A.J.P. Taylor tells us, King George V held a Privy Council at Buckingham Palace the night of August 4, which was attended only by one minister and two court officials, and which sanctioned the proclamation of a state of war. More astonishing, when viewed through modern eyes, the governments and parliaments of the dominions were not consulted. Instead, each Governor-General issued the royal proclamation on his own authority, as did the Viceroy of India. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, India, which then included Pakistan and Bangladesh, and much of Africa, were swept up in a war without first being asked. Peculiar in a different way was the situation of Germany, which was fighting Russia, France, Britain, Luxembourg, and Belgium, all supposedly to prop up Austria, which, as of August 4, was still at peace with all of them. Yet Germany was not at war with, or fighting against, Serbia, the only country with which Austria was at war, and which, according to Vienna, was the country that posed the threat to Austria's existence. The following day, we are told by the historian Hartmut Pogge von Strandmann, there was a panic in Berlin as German troops continued to advance alone and without allies. Moltke told Tirpitz on August 5 that if Austria continued to shy away, Germany, only days after declaring war, would have to sue for peace on the best terms it could get. On August 6, Vienna overcame its reluctance and declared war against Russia. No wonder that, from the very outset, the belligerents felt obliged to explain to their own peoples, and to the peoples of other countries, the seemingly muddled logic that had brought them to the battlefield and, in Austria's eyes, to the wrong battlefield.